Thank you so much for being here today. I'm Coach Brad. As always, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. If you're not familiar with me and who I am your couch to healthy coach. As I like to say, I'm your classic couch to 5K that just kind of kept on going and going and going. And I had to learn all the tricks and skills of how to do this. And that's what I want to be here today with you is to teach you some of those skills and some of those tricks that I've used along the way to go from being that couch potato, that lethargic lifestyle to someone that is living the healthy lifestyle. And again, not just some of the time, but all of the time. And so, how can you do that? How can you do that for your life? Well, you're going to need certain skills and tools and what I call your bag of tricks. And that's what I want to be here and teach you about today. And one of those in particular is something called mindset. Now, along the way, probably like a lot of people, I lost the weight, I gained it, I lost it, I gained it, all this crazy yo-yo cycle. I didn't fully grasp this idea until about 3 years into my journey that, oh, I should start to eat better. My I tell this part of my story too. It's crazy. My breakfast every day used to be a glass of chocolate milk and a hot pocket, one of those pizza hot pocket. That was my breakfast every day, even though I was like training and doing all this stuff. And I had lost some weight, but it made sense now that I look back why I was gaining weight and keeping it off. So one of the things that I had to learn to do along the way was to switch what I was eating. I had to go from eating these standard American foods, which is now we call SAD, the standard American diet, which for me was a Pizza Hot pocket and this glass of chocolate milk every day, which I didn't even know at the time, but chocolate milk is loaded with sugar. But I had to go to switching from that to what I'm calling whole foods or natural foods, organic foods, something like that. But how did I do that? There's something very important that I learned along the way that if I want to eat whole foods, if you want to eat whole foods, if you want to be healthier and all of that, then you've got to think that way. You've got to have that mindset. Again, if you're just joining me, this is Coach Brad. I've just gotten started and I'm just diving into this. We're talking about how I went from eating the standard American diet. Like I said, my breakfast was that hot pocket pizza and that glass of chocolate milk loaded with sugar. But I had to go from eating that to eating these whole foods and some typical whole foods. You know what they are, your vegetables, your broccoli, your spinach, your tomatoes, your cauliflower. I used to hate all of this stuff. I remember growing up as a kid, my dad would say, "You don't eat enough vegetables." And then later on in life, when I got older, he said, "Brad, you eat too many vegetables." I just always thought that was funny. I got a kick out of that. But the thing I learned that I want to share with you again, these are skills and tricks that you can learn, that you can know, that you can incorporate into your lifestyle. Was that if I wanted to eat healthy and if I wanted to be healthy, then I had to start to think healthy. And that's where mindset comes into play. You have to think in alignment with the goal that you have for your life. So this is a classic example. If you want to be a millionaire, you got to think like a millionaire. You got to have the mindset of a millionaire. If you want to be healthy, then you got to think healthy. You have to think like a healthy person. I didn't know that. Not only did I not know that for the first couple of years of my journey, I didn't even know how to do that. So it took me a lot of time and lessons learned and epiphanies to be able to understand this that, oh, if I want to be healthy, I got to think healthy. Well, how do I think healthy then? This is what mindset is. Mindset is essentially how you think. I got to say, okay, I got to think healthy now. How can I think healthy? It all started one day. This is true story. This is crazy. I'd been on this journey, I think, about 5 or 6 years now, and I was still struggling with eating healthy. And the office where I used to work at, I kid you not, in the front area there, they would have all these crazy snacks, I guess, for lack of a better word, cookies, donuts, cupcakes, all candy, all my weaknesses, all my cravings. I still had my sugar cravings and all of that at that time. And I remember this very vividly. I walked into the office and there was my favorite. It was the strawberry donut with, the sprinkles on it and frosting and everything. And, up until this entire point, I would normally just grab one and not think much of it and just go about my day. And I also remember looking back at this time, I still had those extra 15, 20 pounds around the belly that a lot of men carry. And I went to reach for that. And as I was reaching my hand out, like, the forces that be, like literally, it pulled my hand back. And in that moment, I asked myself a question. And this is the question I want to share with you. When we're shifting our mindset from eating the standard American foods to healthy whole foods, how do we do that? One of the ways we shift our mindset is we begin asking ourselves questions. I didn't know that that was a powerful tool at the time, but that is one of the most powerful tools that you can use to shift your mindset is ask yourself questions. But you got to know what questions to ask yourself, and you got to ask yourself the right questions. So in that moment, as I was reaching for that strawberry donut, I had no idea this was going to happen. But the question came to me, if I eat that donut, will it help me to be a better swimmer? And see, I was training for triathlon at the time. And of course, all of us have a little bit of an ego. And one of my goals was to be a stronger swimmer, a stronger runner, and a stronger biker. I had no clue at that time the correlation that Whole Foods played in that. And I thought to myself, well, if I eat that donut, will it help me be a faster swimmer? That's the question I asked myself. And the answer came back, no. And then I had to fill that in. Okay, what can I eat that will help me be a better swimmer? And I kid you not, this is a true story. The answer that came to me in that moment, like this, was spinach. That's why I posted that on my Instagram account. But I thought, oh, spinach. And that's when it dawned on me. It started to occur that, oh, there's a correlation between my performance, my health, and the foods that I eat. I still didn't know at that time that food is medicine. Food is absolutely medicine. But food is also poison. I want to be really clear about that. The foods that you eat absolutely matter. Next, or not next week, but on Friday, when I talk about long term health planning, we're going to see that the larger role that the foods that we eat play in this. But suffice to say, how I started, that was the start. How I started switching from the donuts, the Twinkies, these are my kryptonite, these are my weaknesses, the ding dongs, the cupcakes, all of that stuff. I love that stuff. You can see even now I think about it, I still get goosebumps over it because I do enjoy eating that. And I've learned to find balance. Every once in a while, I do still eat that. But how I switched from those standard American foods and that standard American diet to eating whole foods was I asked myself that question. If I eat this, now fill in the blank. This can be if I eat this cheesecake, if I eat this processed Hot Pocket, will it help me? Back then, it was to be a better swimmer, but I've since modified it. If I eat that Hot Pocket, will it help me to be healthy? Will it help me achieve my goal of being healthy? If you're familiar with my manual or anything like that I've talked about from couch to healthy, I talk about this idea. You've got to have a vision, your point B. My vision that was emerging at this time was I've got to be healthy. Again, if you're just joining me, welcome. This is Coach Brad. We're talking about how to switch your mind from standard American foods to eating healthy whole foods. And it involves asking yourself that question. Okay, the question again, if I eat this, will it help me to be healthy? So you've got to have that vision. That's part of have that vision for who you want to be in your life in terms of your health. What does that look like? Now, if you eat that Hot Pocket, if you eat that macaroni and cheese, if you eat that cheesecake, you see I'm smiling because these used to be some of my favorite foods. Will it help me to be healthy? And I had to be honest with myself. The answer was no. And that was the start of reprogramming my mind from the standard American foods to eating the healthy whole foods. Again, in summary, talking about mindset, how to switch from the standard foods to the whole foods, it's you got to ask yourself questions. And that is one question. There are more questions that I used along the way to help me reprogram my mind. If you'd like to know what some of those other questions are, feel free to reach out to me. You can send me a DM, Instagram, Training with Coach Brad, Facebook, same thing, Training with Coach Brad. You can email me, info@trainingwithcoachbrad.com. A lot of this is available to you for free on my website, as well as my podcast. Got a great podcast. I've interviewed several experts. We talk about whole foods and switching your mind from the standard foods to the whole foods. Check that podcast out. It's called Be Well, Be Safe, Be Happy, Eat Ice Cream. Again, if you're just joining me, this is Coach Brad. We've been talking about mindset and switching from standard foods to the whole healthy foods. I will have a replay up on my website or my Facebook page, excuse me, Training with Coach Brad. This will all also be available on Instagram, Training with Coach Brad. But again, that was the start. Switching from the standard foods, I think back about it now and I kind of laugh a little bit. Pizza and chocolate milk used to be my breakfast every day, and now it really varies between like a spinach salad or some sauerkraut with some animal protein, or it varies quite a bit. Another time I'll get into what I used to eat versus what I eat now. But anyway, that is the basics for switching your mindset from the standard foods to the whole foods is you got to ask yourself that question. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please let other friends know about this. And thanks for being here. Until next time, this is Coach Brad saying be well, be safe, be happy, eat ice cream. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.